Hello boys and girls, welcome to this presentation. In this video, we're gonna finish the rest of the videos in Unit 1 revision. Question 12. Work out each calculation, give your answers in standard form. Now, question 12 is the same as we did in question 11. Now, let's start doing it together. Same idea. Because we have multiply here, we're gonna do the same. Multiply these and give the answer, and then multiply the tens with the powers and give the 10 with the power. Now, I'm gonna use the calculator to multiply these first and write my answer. So 1.8 times 6.41. It gave me 11.538. So I'm gonna write it here, 11.538 multiplied by 10 with the power. Now the 10 with the power, we have 10 power of 5 here multiplied by 10 power of 7. And when you multiply the same base numbers, what do you do to the powers? Very good. You add them. So it's going to be power of 12 here. 5 plus 7 is 12. Good. Now, is that in standard form? Very good. It's not. So I have to make it standard. How can I make it standard? Very good. By moving the decimal point. Now, I'm going to move the decimal point here to make it 1.1. So it's going to be 1.1. 538 multiplied by a 10 with a power. Now, because I moved the decimal point this way, it means I went to the positive side. And because I went to the positive side, I'm going to add 1 to this power. So it's going to be 13. Very good. Let me do this. Yes. I hope you understood the idea of moving the decimal point, because it's the key point of answering questions like these. Now let's move on to the next one. We're going to do the same thing. Multiply 3.7 by 9.3 and write the answer. Let's do it with a calculator. 3.7 times 9.3 equals 34. Let me write it here. 34.41. Now, I'm going to find the 10 with the power using these 10s with powers. I have 10 power of negative 3 and 10 power of 10. When you multiply them, you add the powers. So it's going to be negative 3 plus 10. And the answer is 7. So multiplied by 10 power of 7. I write it here. 10 power of 7. Now, is that in standard form? Very good. It's not. So I have to change it. And to change it, I will move the decimal point this way. And because I moved this way, it means I went to the positive side. So I'm going to add 1 to this power. So it's going to be 8. Very good. So it's going to be 3.441, sorry, multiplied by 10 power of 8. Very good. Now, we understood the idea of moving the decimal point. That's very important. We do the same here, but in dividing. So we divide these numbers first. It's going to be 55.8 divide 6.2. And the answer is 9. Multiplied by a 10 with a power, we find the 10 with the power from these numbers. So because this line here means division, so we're going to divide them, and dividing means subtracting the powers. So it's going to be 9 minus 7, 9 minus 2, I'm sorry, which is 7. Good job. And then question D, the same thing. We divide the numbers first here. 2.136, sorry, 2.136 divide 3.56 equals 0.6. This one is 0.6 multiplied with the 10 with the power, and we find the 10 with the power from here, and because it's dividing, it means we subtract the powers. So 3 minus 8, let's do it together. 3 minus 8 equals minus 5. Very good. So minus 5. Now, as you can see here, is that a standard form? Very good, it's not, because 0.6 is less than 1, and this number must be between 1 and 10. So I have to move the decimal point to make it between 1 and 10. Now, to make this between 1 and 10, I have to move it here, right? So it's going to be 6. Wait, here. And because I moved this way, which is the negative side, I'm gonna what? I'm gonna, very good, subtract 1 from negative 5. So it's gonna be what? Very good, it's gonna be negative 6. So 6 times 10 with the power of negative 6. Now, to make sure I'm answering these questions in the right way, I'm gonna multiply this and check the answer, and multiply this and check the answer. They have to give me the same answer. If they don't give me the same answer, it means there's a mistake that I did in which I have to fix. The first one gives me 6 zeros with a 6. Second one gives me power of negative 6. 6 zeros with a 6. So the answer is correct. Very good. Now, let's move on to the next question here. Question 13 here. The average distance from the Sun to the Earth is approximately 1.5 times 10 power of 8 kilometers. Light travels at 3, this is the first one. Light travels at 3 times 10 power of 8 meters per second, negative 1, power of negative 1. Find the time taken for light to travel from the Sun to the Earth. So they need the time taken to travel from the Sun to the Earth. So we have the average distance between them, and we have the speed. Now, the formula says what? Speed equals what? Very good. Speed equals distance divide time. So speed equals distance divide time. Now, I have the speed here, and I have the distance. We need what? We need the time. So we don't know the time. Now, I can substitute here and write the formula in numbers. Or I can move them before I substitute. Yes, good. I can move this because it's divided. I can move it to the other side by multiplying. So it's going to be what? Very good. T times S equals D. And then I take the S here because it's multiplied, take it by division here. So let me move this. Yes. So T equals what? D divide S. Now I have my formula, which I'm going to use. So focus on this. I took T here by multiplying, and then took S here by dividing, okay? Now I can use this formula because I don't know the time, but I know the distance and I know the speed. So I'm gonna divide them on each other to find the time. As you can see, we found the formula that we're going to use, but we have something we have to talk about, which is what? Now, let me remove this. Which is the units that we're using. Now, for the distance, we are using kilometers. And for the speed, we're using meters. But we need them the same unit. So we have to turn this unit here, the kilometers, into meters. How can we turn this? We turn it by what? By multiplying. Very good. Because kilometers is bigger than meters. Now, how do we do this? We say that 1 kilometer equals how many meters? Sorry. 1,000 meters. Very good. 1,000 meters. So To turn this kilometers or kilometers into meters, we multiply by 1,000. So we say 1.5 times 10 power of 8 multiplied by 1,000. So how do we write this? We say 1.5 multiplied by 10 power of 8 and multiplied by 1,000. 1,000 is 10 power of what? Very good, power of 3. So we can write it like this and then turn it into a single power, which is 1.5 times 10. And when you multiply the same base numbers, you're going to add the powers. So it's going to be what? Very good, 10 power of 11. Now, I turned the distance into meters. Now, I can use it with the speed to find the time. Now, we go back to this formula here and divide the distance, which is this one, over speed, which is this one. Now, let's write it as a formula. So, time equals distance, which is 1.5 times 10 power of 11 divided by 3 times 10 power of 8. Now, first thing we do, we divide these numbers. 1.5 divided 3 equals, very good, 0.5. So it's 0. Let me write it here. We can go. No more space here. So it's 0.5. Multiplied by a 10 with a power. Now the power will be what? Very good. We're going to divide these. So 10 power of 11 divide 10 power of 8. We subtract the powers. So 11 minus 8 equals what? Very good. It's 3. It's 3 here. So let me fix this. Yes. So the answer is what? Is 0.5 multiplied by 10 power of 3 seconds. And this is how you answer a question like this. Now, let me go to the next question. You have to focus, guys, on the questions, read them, and understand that we have to use the same units when we answer questions, especially with distance and speed, or time, distance, and speed. Now, let's take a look at question 14. In question 14 here, write these countries in order of population size from smallest to largest. So we need the smallest population size, and then we go up to the largest. We have 6 countries here. Let's take a wider look. Let's make it smaller. Yes, okay. So they need the smallest one, okay? Which one is the smallest here? Very good. We look at the powers first. The one with the smallest power is the smallest one. If we have the same powers, we look at the numbers before them, which are these, okay? Now, first, let's take a look at the powers. We have power of 5 here and power of 5 here. So they are the same, so we take a look here. We have 1.8 and 3.2. Which one is the smallest? Very good, 1.8. So we put 1 next to 1.8 here. Now, after it, we have this one, which is 3.2 and 10 power 5, because they have the same powers. Then, we take a look at the powers, we find 10 power 6. So it's the third one. And there's no other country with 10 power 6. And then we have 10 power 7 after it. Good. So depending on the powers, I can say which one is the smallest. And then we have 10 power 8 and 10 power 8. Which one is the smallest? We take a look at these numbers. So we have 1.2 and 2.0. Which one is the smallest? Is this one. Very good. So this is number 5. And then we have number 6. Good job. Now, this is the answer for question 14. Now, let's take a look at question 15. The diagram shows a cuboid, as you can see. What is the surface area of the cuboid? Give your answer to 3 significant figures. Now, to find the surface area of any 3D shape, you have to find the area of each part alone. And then this is a cuboid. Each part has two sides which are the same. So you can find one of them and multiply by 2. And then add them all together. So let's do it together. So we have first, in this cuboid, we have two squares. Okay, let's do it like this. We're gonna write it here. Two squares. So we find the square size, which is this one and this one. And then we have sets of rectangles. These two are the same. And the top one and the bottom one are the same. So we find one of each and multiply it by 2. Now for the squares, we find the area. The area is what? Very good. The length multiplied by the width. So the area is 1.42 multiplied by the width, which is 3.75. And then we multiply by 2 because we have two squares, and we will get the answer. Okay, so let's do it now. 1.42 times 3.75 then times 2 equals 10.65. Yes, 1 times 3, 10.65. 10.65 meters squared, of course, because it's an area, it's meters squared. Good. And then this is the squares, the two squares. And then we have two rectangles, one of them top and bottom, and the others are the sides. Okay, so these are the sides, and this one is top, bottom. Okay, so top, bottom, we find the area, and then we multiply it by 2. So it's 1.42, 1.42 multiplied by 8.32, 23, I'm sorry. And then multiplied by 2. Now let's answer this. So it's 1.42 multiplied by 8.23 multiplied by 2. And it's 23 point, let me write it so I don't forget it. 23.3732. Now, as they said, give your answer to 3 significant figures. After you finish all the answers and you add them, you can find the 3 significant figures. Now, the last ones are the sides. So I'm going to use the sides, length and width, multiply them by each other. So 8.23 or 3.75 multiplied by 8.23 and then multiplied by 2. Let's do it together. 3.75 multiplied by 8.23 multiplied by 2. 3.75, 8.23 by 2 equals 61,725. 61,725. Now, after finding all the areas of all sides, I'm going to add them together and they will make the surface area of the whole cuboid. Now let me add them together here using the calculator. So let's do it together. 10.65 plus 23.3732 plus 61.725. So The answer is 9574. Yeah, 9. I'll write it here. 95.7482. Now, I wrote the whole answer. After writing the whole answer, I'm going to give a 3 significant figure answer. 3 significant figure means what? It means 3 numbers. So I'm going to count numbers. This is the first one, second one, third one. I look at the one after the third because it's smaller than 5. I'm not going to add anything to the 7. So the answer will be 5.7 meters squared. And why is it meters squared? Because it's an area, and areas are always squared. And this is how I answer a question like this. Now, let's move on to the next question. In the next question, question 16, write as a single power. Now, writing as a single power means writing a number with a power on top of it. Now, let's take a look at question A. When you multiply the same base numbers, what do you do to the powers? Very good, you add them. So here we have 11 power of 7 and 11 power of negative 3. When you add 7 minus 3 equals, very good, equals 4. So these will be 4 under 11. And then when you divide it on the same base number, you're going to subtract. So it's going to be 4 minus 2. I'll do it again. I'll do it again for you guys. I think you're confused. Wait. Here, the answer for this one, it's 11 power of 4, okay? It's 11 power of 4. And then we take 11 of power of 4, we divide it on 11 power of negative 2. Because it's dividing, we subtract the powers. So 4 minus 2, we write it in the calculator. 4 minus 2 equals 6, because minus means plus. So it equals 11 power of 6. Very good. Now, the next one, question B, same idea. When you have a question like this, you can put it all in the calculator as it is, or you can go step by step, answering these and taking the answer with this, and then taking the answer with this, okay? Now, let's do it together. Here, we have 3 power of negative 13 and 3 power of 4 multiplied. So we add the powers. So it's going to be 3 power of what? Negative 3 plus 4. You write it with a calculator. Negative 13 plus 4 equals negative 9. So power of negative 9. And then you take this answer with this question. So when we divide, we subtract the powers. So it's going to be negative 9 minus 5. Focus on the operations and the signs. It's going to be negative 4. So 3 power of negative 4. And then we take this with this. So because it's division, we subtract the powers. So it's going to be negative 4 minus 2 equals negative 6. So the answer will be 3 power of negative 6. Very good. Now let's take a look at the next one. Same idea here, but we will do the ones on top first and then the ones in the bottom, okay? Now, to do the ones on top, because it's multiplied, we add the powers. So negative 7, negative 2 equals negative 9. So 7 power of negative 9, divided by, same idea here, this is division. So we're going to subtract the powers. So it's going to be 7 what? Very good. We do negative 1 subtract 8 equals negative 9. And when you divide 7 power of negative 9 and 7 power of negative 9 equals what? You can do it with a calculator or subtract the powers. So it's going to be negative 9, negative 9, and the answer will be 0. So it's going to be 7 power of 0, and 7 power of 0 equals 1. Very good. Focus on this. We did the ones on top. We had negative 9. And then the ones in the bottom, we had negative 9 in the power. And when you divide the same numbers, you get 1. Now, let's check question D. In question D, same idea. We do the ones on top here. Because it's division, so we subtract the powers. So we say negative 3 minus 3 equals negative 6. So 5 power of negative 6. Divide. We have 10 power of 5 power of 10 multiplied by 5 power of negative 3. Because it's multiplying, we add the powers. So it's going to be 10. Negative 3 is going to be 7. So it's going to be 5 power of 7. And then this is division, so we subtract the powers. It's going to be 5. Very good. We subtract the powers. So negative 6, negative 7 equals negative 13. So the first thing I did, I subtracted these powers because it's division. I got negative 6. And then added these. I got 7. And then subtracted these. I got negative 13. And this is how you answer a question like this. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.